because I was a perfectionist, and which means that I spent more time considering how things should be done than most everybody else. And so I was on it. And I wasn't just on it selfishly, like I thought of what would be the best for everyone. And I would become aggravated if people weren't thinking about it.
Yeah.
I thought they were inconsiderate. And I blamed them. I thought that it was them that was causing all the problems. It was them that was making me feel this way. If they could just get it right, then I wouldn't feel this way. What I realized is the thing that was in me was iniquity. Mm-hmm. And the thing that was causing me to feel that way was iniquity. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't them that had the problem, it was me. Right?
Yeah.
And I had to be set free.
Yeah.
And the more I tried to think it was them, the more I was scapegoating someone else.
Right.
And when you scapegoat someone else, then you're like giving the stiff arm to your own freedom from the thing. God come and made me so comfortable, I stopped scapegoating people, right? I stopped blaming them for what I felt. Mm-hmm. And I start realizing, okay, even should they have done something, that doesn't mean they have the power to bring forth this feeling. What's going on in me, Lord? Right? Yeah. I stopped scapegoating people. When I felt things, I started just going and getting with God instead of running down the road thinking all my thoughts about people and what's wrong with them, these SOBs, these whatever. You run down the road, you know. And then I realized, no, wait a second. There's something going on in me. And I started dealing with that. Listen, you start enjoying people much more. Oh, yeah. You know what started happening? I found myself unwound from the perfection. Listen, Greg from, how old am I? 42?
42.
Man, Greg from 20 years ago might throw up at the vision, at the thought of Greg at 42 would be in that building. Because the thought that Greg of 42 would be in a building that's that jacked up would have caused me a problem on so many fronts in my perfectionism I can't even begin to describe. I call it rubbing up against your chunks. We think it's the people's problem. Like, glory to God, I'm thank God He brought people to my life that rubbed up against my chunks. Because you know what happened? My chunks got flattened out. And there weren't chunks no more. Right? And I stopped feeling that way.
You're free.
Right, I'm free.
Yeah.
It's like I was so like uptight about everything. That's not real life, man. No. And not only you're so uptight about everything, you become angry with everybody around you. That's not real life either. And that life ain't come from above. And the first thing that had to happen was for me to accept that that's the truth. Yeah. No, my siblings, it's not because they're not getting it right that I feel this way. That's not what's going on here. I had to realize that there was something in me that wasn't from God. Yeah. And then I started getting free. And now, listen, I care much less about a lot of different things, right? Because I've realized one thing matters, right? God. Right. What He's done in Jesus. That is actually where all the things that I want are found. That can actually save me from everything that causes me pain. And anything else that causes me pain ain't got nothing to do with other people. It's got to do with something I'm believing in my heart. And now I'm going to deal with that. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that the people around me are always acting perfectly. It just means whether people are acting perfectly or not around me, that shouldn't have the power to impact my peace. That's right. And if it does, it only can if their behavior is triggering something that was already in me. Right. That's what happens so often, is that people around us trigger things that were already there. And then we scapegoat them as if they caused it. Instead of realizing, no, I could have never felt this way unless that thing was already in there. Right. And these people just happen to come along and trigger it. And now it's front and center. Right? But now that it's front and center, instead of scapegoating them, I'm going to start talking with God. Yes. And then I'm going to find that thing plucked out. Right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
That makes great sense.
We get triggered by things, and then we think it's the people. Yeah. No, they're triggering some insecurity that was already planted there. And you feel great pain and suffering at what happened. And it becomes very difficult not to think it's them. Because there they are, right? There they are. They have said and done something, so it's an easy jump, sure, right? But we don't recognize, the reason why it bothers us is because it's triggering something already in there. Why didn't Jesus ever get triggered like that?
Because it wasn't in there.
Because it wasn't in there to begin with.
That's right. I keep thinking of it as like